The best putters sink more putts. Today's video is all about how you can start sinking more putts. Sean, we're talking about making more putts, right? So we're in our just awesome putting facility here at 265 Academy. Why are we not outside doing 40-foot putts?
Because at 40 feet, even the best players in the world aren't making putts.
Making a very small percentage,
Yeah.
and their likelihood of three putting is just as high, if not higher, than making the putt.
Exactly. So if we're going to do a video today about sinking more putts or making more putts, we're going to do it inside of 10 feet where you can really do some damage and where those percentages start going up where you can actually start making
That's right.
putts.
So this is that area where when you're actually practicing to make more putts, you're going to see the biggest gain for that practice time versus trying to hold 25, 30 footers. You may make one or two of those around if you're a great putter, or one or two of those a week or a month if you're a normal putter. So we're going to really focus inside of this 10-foot area so we can really lock down all of the key mechanics and skills that we need to hold more putts, which is going to make your stroke average go down.
So let's talk about, like you said, some of the skills you need to make putts in general, especially from 10 feet and in. I would say the first one is probably, well, let's just talk about how you make putts, line and speed.
Line and speed, it's that simple.
Okay, so if we're talking about, let's talk about speed first.
Okay.
Okay, first parameter I would say or skill you need to hit putts the right speed is you got to hit the sweet spot.
Got to hit the center of the club face. That really applies to all of these skills, line and speed.
So this is like a 2-for-1 or all.
That's right, because if we start missing the sweet spot, right, the center of gravity of the putter, the center mass of the putter, is where the ball's going to hit it and not twist.
So if I take this, I've done this a lot. If I hit it in the middle, it's very stable, right?
Right.
If I make that same amount of pressure on the toe and the heel,
it starts wobbling the face.
It starts wobbling. So by making center contact, you've got a chance to start the ball where you aim it or where you deliver the putter.
With the ball speed, that center contact, it's no different than a driver. Your ball speed's going to be best and most reliable out of the middle.
Yeah, and if you're inconsistent, if one putt, like I have a lot of students that, they struggle with distance control, obviously, right? Well, one putt they hit on the toe, one putt they hit on the heel, one putt's in the middle. Even with the same exact stroke length and rhythm, they're going to hit 3 different length putts. So they never get dialed
and 3 directions. So what a lot of players will do goes, all right, my stroke's not right, or my read was wrong. No, your impact was wrong.
Absolutely. So how do we practice it?
All right, so what we've got here on our putter is 2 Band-Aids, and we just got them wrapped around.
No, rubber bands, but close enough.
Band-Aid. Actually, Band-Aids work well too, with the little padded things. You want something to give you immediate feedback when you miss the middle and hit either the Band-Aids or the rubber bands. In this case, we got rubber bands, found them in the drawer.
Everybody has them at their house.
And put it about, you're gonna see, this is gonna be a little more narrower than the actual width of the ball, and that's where we're gonna start. We would call this beginner range right here, where it's just inside the width of the golf ball.
Perfect.
So drop our ball down, 4 or 5 feet is all we need for this. Again, our only skill here that we're trying to build is center face contact. And if you strike it out of the middle, you should be pretty good. Now, if you can do that 8 out of 10 times, it's too wide. So we want to push these in. Right there. Now we're in here pretty darn tight.
Okay.
Now I really got to find the middle of the club face. And if you use rubber bands and you miss the middle of the club face, the ball's going to squirt offline. So let's see if we can do the same thing.
So again, his focus here, just try to hit the sweet spot. See if he can miss the rubber bands. Ball rolls fairly true on line. Doesn't twist.
That's right. And if you can develop this skill with at least the rubber bands maybe 1/2 inch apart, 3/4 inch apart consistently, then you've really got one of the biggest skills in putting locked down, and your other skills are going to rise just from getting this correct.
Okay, Mike, we've got the first skill ironed out, which was hitting the middle of the sweet spot, right? We used the rubber bands. So now that we're doing that and the ball's coming off the middle of the face consistently, the next thing we have to figure out is how to start the ball on line, right?
Right.
And the number one skill for that is getting the face of the putter to point where you want the ball to start at impact.
That's right.
Right? And we all know it's important to line up properly as well.
Right.
And you can have a buddy help you with that. Like if I was to set up here, Mike could get down the line from me and give me some idea of where
Right,
I
so
need to be.
it's easy to use your shaft and just kind of, Sean's putter's got a nice white line going right down the middle. So if we say this is a straight putt, he's dead line right in the center of the hole.
Okay, so good. So that's important, but not the number one skill.
It's a good skill to have. It's better than aiming it way off the right, and then you
Right.
got to square it back up from there. So
So let's get good at aiming it.
aiming it's pretty good.
Okay. Now the skill, as far as I'll have Mike come back in. The skill, as far as getting the ball to go in, though, is when your putter contacts the
When
ball.
it touches the ball, that's right.
So Mike, what do you got set up here for us?
So what we've got set up is a little gate here. You can use tees if you're outdoors, or 2 golf balls is really simple. And what it looks like for our face-on camera here is I've just got, we use this middle ball as the path I want the ball to roll on, then I'm just framing it with 2 balls. Now, if you need a little more help, you can start to separate these balls, and then as you get better at doing this, you get them tighter and tighter to where it's just wide enough
Perfect.
for the golf ball, so you got very little margin for error. So we've got these balls set up already at our target. Now my goal here is just to putt, and we like this because there's no plastic, no artificial anything. It's just my skill for rolling this with a square face. So
Like it.
let's see if I have that skill. See, so what was that? I hit the inside ball,
The inside
which
ball.
is an indication of I pulled that putt.
Face was a little closed.
Face
in
was a
back.
little close.
Let's put them back.
All right. So it's always good, and we talk about this with the full swing, it's always good to have accurate feedback.
To the left a little bit. You gotta make sure they're perfectly kind of in line with where you
Yep.
want the putt to go.
That's why we like tees outdoors, because
Okay.
you can see the hole where you're in.
It's a little bit cold today, so we're
Yeah, it's a lot of bit cold.
inside. Looks pretty good there. Okay,
there we
so
go.
that was pretty easy. We'll go narrower next time, but that gives you the idea of, okay, I need to not only have it lined up, I need to deliver it back to square. And we've got some great technology here at 265.
Right.
We've got a Sam Putt Lab. It measures the putting stroke in 3D. And I've had a lot of good putters come through, one of them being David Toms, has to be one of the better putters
Yes, certainly
on
is.
the tour in the last 20 years. And, you know, it may deviate a degree or so in alignment, but every single time he's delivering it back to square, which is super important key to get the putt started online.
That's right. And even if you think putting is one of your assets, right, one of your strengths, this is still something that you can keep sharpening that sword with. We see great putters all the time when we're out on tour. They're still using things like this, the tees. They're using the mirrors, like the Sean Webb putting mirrors,
Yeah.
a great training instrument.
This is your maintenance work.
That's exactly right. These are skills that you will lose if you don't practice them, or you will sharpen if you do practice them. And I've yet to hear any player complain about making too many short putts.
Absolutely.
So when you're doing this, start in this range here, or maybe even a foot closer. If you own this, go a foot back. Don't go from here to 15 feet. You want to gradually build the skill as you move back to 10 feet, to where if you're busting it through these gates from 3 to 10 feet, you're going to be putting like a rock star, and you're really going to see improvement out there on the course. All right, Sean, we've got our face angle squared away now. We've got our center impact, right? We're building face angle on center impact. Now let's talk about the last 2 skills we need, which are rhythm and speed control.
That's right. And they go together.
These all go together.
Putters, people that have good rhythm normally have good distance
That's
control.
exactly right.
So how are we going to practice distance control? Let's put the drill down first and we'll talk
Okay,
about
so
it.
we're just gonna this is like some chalk line string. We're just gonna set it down. And this is great, you can do this indoors certainly, but this is great outdoors if you have an old hole. So a hole that's already been covered up. You place this for an uphill putt. You place this about 2 feet behind the hole. For a downhill putt, about a foot, maybe a little more than a foot behind the hole. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this string down, just laying it dead across the hole, right? And this string has now become our target.
Okay.
So the skill we have to build, and we'll let you do these.
So would the hole be right?
The hole, just forget the hole's even here.
The hole would be right here if it was.
Yeah, our target is right here.
Got it.
And I don't even want to think about hole for this drill.
Right. Like it.
All right, so when you're putting, when you're a good putter, you really have control over where you stop the ball.
Yeah.
The hole should just get in the way. So if you want to really become a good putter, you have to really become good at where you stop the ball. Because it doesn't do any good to be center contact, to be good face angle if the ball's stopping 5 feet past the hole on a miss.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to get more practice making the comeback. So the skill we're after right here with this drill is Sean's going to try to putt these balls and have them stop right on that string.
Okay.
All right.
So let me try a couple, then we'll talk through kind of
Okay.
things that'll help people do it even better than they already are. So. Okay, not too bad, right?
Pretty good. Let's put a couple more.
Okay.
Because as your putts vary, start going uphill, downhill, side hill, where you're trying to stop the ball will vary. So you have to have that skill of stopping the ball. Okay, let's use those three as a good example.
Okay.
So from 6 feet, his dispersion from short to long is about 14 to 16 inches.
Okay.
All right, so we would write that down on our notepad or put it in our phone. January 1st, my dispersion from 6 feet, short to long, was 16 inches. All right, well, next time we putt again, we're gonna try to beat that.
Okay.
So you're always keeping track of the skill, you're being accountable for your skill. Now let's see if we can beat that. Let's put these next 3 balls and try to beat that.
Okay. Oof, let me re-putt that one.
All right, and do over. So it's more difficult than it looks, isn't it?
Yeah, because it takes the hole away.
That's right. So now we're really developing a skill of ball speed and where that ball stops. Really good. We're not working on direction right now. We're working on stopping speed. Okay.
Okay.
So now we've dropped it down to about 8 or 9 inches. So he made about a 100% improvement there. Write that down. Then we want to check this at 10 feet. We want to check it at 15 feet. You can go all the way out to 40 feet. If you can get long range putts that you have very little chance of making inside of about a 3-foot dispersion, you are putting like a rock star.
Yeah.
And then you can take that dispersion and either put it behind the hole, middle of the hole, or in front of the hole to help you make more putts.
Okay.
And it's the skill of that that really transfers out on the golf course.
So let's talk for a minute about a way to improve this if you're struggling.
Okay.
Right? Because I see it. I do a lot of putting lessons.
Yes.
And the one thing I see, I think golfers have been taught a lot of times to over accelerate. Right? They say
Short backswing,
they say,
blow through it.
Yeah, they've been taught don't decel, right?
Right, right.
And so they make a short backswing and then really accelerate hard, and they have a lot of putts that
That's right.
blast off the
That's right.
face, right? Or they do that a few times and then they don't get one anywhere near the hole because they're afraid.
Right.
So in reality, it is fairly difficult to decelerate, right? If I just drop the putter, that's accelerating.
Right.
Right? So you
Yes.
don't need to add a whole lot to the motion.
That's right.
So when I'm giving a putting lesson, I'll have them feel that the length of the stroke controls the distance, right? And when they do that, I'll also have them count in their head 1001. So let's say I had a 3-foot putt, I would count 1001. I would make a short stroke,
Right.
I'd maybe go 3 inches back and 3 inches through as a rough estimate, right? Now if I'm putting a 10-footer, I'm gonna make the same rhythm, 1001. And I feel like I'm not adding to it.
Right.
I'm just kind of letting the putter flow with that rhythm. So if I had this putt, let's say I'm going to the hole, 1001. A little bit bigger stroke, and then the length of the stroke carries the ball to the hole. And I
exactly
think
right.
that's a more intuitive way to get speed than always trying to hit it hard, easy, depending on the length
That's
of the
right.
putt.
A great way to do that, right? As humans, we all have really good depth perception innately.
Like if I was going to toss a ball to Mike,
Yeah.
I don't have to think about that.
I didn't have to duck. You didn't throw it too hard. I didn't have to chase it because
I
you
think
threw it too
everybody
easy.
has it in them.
I'm looking at you and I'm just tossing it right to you.
Yeah.
So a great way to do this in adding on after you start to get this skill visually is to close your eyes. Look at the hole one last time, close your eyes, and really get a sense. Let your innate ability drift the ball to the hole.
That's pretty good.
And what you do is you start turning off your trying to hit at a distance to just hitting at that distance.
Yeah, and everybody's pretty good. Like if I want to toss it across the room to somebody, I can throw it right in their hand. So how do we transfer that skill of distance control that you have in your hand with the putter in your hand? And I always talk to people and say, listen, you would never throw a ball to somebody and go short and then try to toss
Right.
it hard. You'd kind of ease your arm back and kind of have a consistent release speed, right?
Nobody ever reaches for a doorknob and goes too hard and puts their hand through the glass or comes up
Exactly
short.
right.
It's just innate. We have a really good sense for distance if we get out of the way of it.
Exactly. So work on your 1001 rhythm, work on changing the length of the stroke for the length of the putt. I think you have a lot easier time controlling the speed.
Yes.
And also what we found with like Blast Motion, some of these Sam Putt Lab, the better your rhythm gets, the mechanics of the stroke will clean up a lot of times.
And you get to quit thinking about the mechanics of the stroke. Because
Exactly
again,
right.
we start with the center contact. We start with where the face is when it's touching the ball. Now the glue for all that is the rhythm and the speed control. And those skills will really have you start reading the greens better.
Yeah.
Because if you know you're doing everything you can in your little bubble, and then when that ball leaves, right, that's the last new influence we have. When that ball leaves, then if it does something really weird, we can start tuning that up. But right now, if our little stroke bubble's off, making putts is just going to be a matter of luck.
Oh, that's absolutely right.
So give those a try. Start close to the hole. Start on a straight putt. Work your way back to 10 feet. Then start doing some breaking putts with the same process. You will become a better putter and hole more putts. If you like more distance instantly, we put together a video just for that. All you need to do to get that video is click on the link below, and the first pinned comment will ask for your name, your email, and we'll send it out to you immediately.
If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Once you do that, click on notifications so you know when we have a brand new video coming out right away.
Right, we want to make this channel's content just for you guys, just for your golf game. So leave us some comments down below if you'd like to see something that we haven't already covered or want to see it covered in a different way. We'll do our best to get that for you as soon as we can. And don't forget, if you want to hit the ball farther, click the link below in the first pinned comment.
Get you some instant distance.
Instant.